So here we are in our Davenport. So the cool thing about this, like I've mentioned, is that it came to me as just a donation. Here, take it away, because the customer didn't want to put a lot of money. They didn't want to reupholster it, pretty much. So what I've been doing is we restored the seat. The bottom was all hanging out. We're trying to make it presentable. I think it's kind of cool that I have a lot of the fabric left over. I have a whole cushion that that was left over, a whole cover. And they had the back covered with another cover that I'm going to use to kind of repair quickly, though. I don't want to put too much, effort into this, because I think ultimately somebody's going to have it reupholstered. However, somebody would want to buy it maybe as is after I'm done with it, to have in their house, to put into a space, and it's at least presentable at that point. And then later on, I mean, they can enjoy it as is for a little while, and then later on have it upholstered. So it can appeal to a variety of customers, and that's why I only want to do as much of the repairing just to make it presentable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do a blind tack here, and I'm going to sew a piece of fabric, another piece of fabric, onto my deck, and then I'm going to show you an easier way, instead of opening the whole sofa up, which is a lot of work. Again, we're trying to avoid too much work into this. I'm going to show you an easy way of closing that up, a little trick to close that up, just to give it a freshness and to make it look a little bit better than this, right? You see the stitching here. So let's give it a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this piece. It actually will seam out nicely in the front here, and then I'm going to sew this for my deck. Okay, so let's do that. Another thing I want to show you before I go on to the sewing machine is it actually, with the back piece, so we got a little bit of wear here. I'm actually gonna, with the back piece that was on the back, I cut that off, and I'm going to use that as an arm cap. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make it an arm cap down to about here. This. I'll make two arm caps. I already have one side's already seamed for me, so we'll do that too. Okay, and that's it for now. Remember what we're trying to do here, folks. I'm trying to, not put a huge amount of labor in this, because, if I upholster this whole thing and try to sell it, somebody might not like the fabric, for instance. So what we're trying to do is get it presentable. I have a lot of fabric left over, which is very unusual, so I thought it was a great idea and a chance for me to use what I had to make it into a reasonably good-looking piece, or as original as it was with the crushed velvet. So that said, I have enough fabric to cover from here up, and then replace the deck with a nice fresh decking. So I'm going to be a little tricky here to do this. I'm going to blind tack it. It just so happens too that I had a nice spot for my seam in the back cap piece. I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to be proud enough to put this in the window as is, in hopes that somebody will buy it and change out the cover at some point. They can hire me or hire somebody else. It won't matter. I prefer they hired me, though. So we're going to flip this back like this, and we're going to make sure that I have enough fabric this way and this way. I have enough fabric that's going to tuck there and tuck there. And this way a little bit more. Bring it up, fold it. This is called blind tack, and you guys have seen my other videos. You know what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to be right over the welting right there, and then fold it right here. And this down like so. fold here. Then we're going to put our blind tack on to give ourselves a nice little edge there. I'm just catching the wood. And that right above that welting, that piping. So I don't have enough fabric to cover the whole thing. Staples. Let's just check. Now you notice the variation in color. This has been faded out. This is the original color, you guys. This is just, the fabric's okay here, it's just faded. So isn't that interesting how much damage the sun does? Same fabric. Believe it, one fabric was out of the sun. That part of it was out of the sun, it was up at the top. But look at this. Look at this nice transition here. Isn't that beautiful? That's okay, you know, it's gonna present itself well. And the seam from the back cap that it was, it's going to be right along the edge here. I mean, in other words, somebody's going to be able to put this in their living room until they decide maybe that, you know, what fabric they want to use. I mean, they could purchase it for a lot less than what it would be if I had to put all the labor through reupholster it. And then decide from there, you know, for a younger couple, maybe they don't have the money right now, but they want a good sofa, they want to invest in a good sofa, this would be perfect. And then when they have the money later, they have the good sofa. And they have the money later, and then they can get it reupholstered. And they might even have a spot for it. And you know, you can even throw a slip cover on or a throw on this until you're ready for the big purchase of the fabric, the full fabric amount that you need, and the labor. So I think it's a great idea to try to save some of this furniture. Otherwise, you know what, this sofa would have ended up in the trash. Because I was like the third person the person called to try to get rid of this before the house was demolished. That's what they were doing, the house being torn down with this satin. So the son was looking for somebody that would appreciate the sofa, which I certainly did. Certainly appreciate the quality of working here. It's unbelievable. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we created here. Look at that, guys. Are you kidding me? That's much better than anticipated. So this is going to come in very useful in a minute. I'm going to show you what to do, how to tighten this up. So take your fabric, tuck it into the back, tuck it into the sides, just like you would a slip cover. Take this and tuck it down here. It almost worked without doing the next step, but I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit by doing the next step. I'm really happy with the way this came out. Not a lot of time investment I wanted to put into this. Okay, I do want it a little tight in there, so what I'm going to do is, I like the seam cross here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to force it down below the wood frame into the deck, and believe it or not, I should make it disappear. Pretty much. And you got a nice tight deck. Worked out a little bit. Let's see how our cushion looks on top. I had an entire new cushion, seat cushion on this that they had put away for a time just like this maybe. They talk about foresight, huh? Put this on here. Look at that, you guys. Not bad. You know what I might do? I might just roll this up just a little bit more to try to get that seam out of the way. I want it hidden. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm happy with that. The only thing I got to do now is I want to show you the cut that I'm going to make on my arm caps here. I want to make sure that my fabric is going the proper way on both arms. Wow. That's it right there. What I'm going to do is make a little, I'm going to try to, I'm thinking of debating about this, what should I do? I'm going to make a little cut, because I don't have much fabric, but I want to see if I can make a fitted arm cap, which is only going to require me to make a cut here, right? Make a seam this way. So it's like a dot we make out on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, make a dot on the other side, right? I'm going to bring my other arm over. Those dots are going to be sewn. I'll show you in a minute. Other arm over. Do that face to face. Cut the dots out. In other words, we made a pattern for our other arm. I want to do now is just get a couple of pins in here just to kind of tighten the arm cap up. I know it takes away from the piping, but you know, it looks better than what was there, which was dirty up here. It's brand new fabric practically, and it covers that area. So I've covered most of the problem areas on the sofa, and I'm happy about that. I'm just going to pin this down here. And this will be sold as is. We'll give the customer the history of the piece. Just going to tuck that down like that. And we're done. So here we go. AH Davenport repaired. Very unusual job that we had some fabric in order to repair it. All the problem areas. We did the springs. We replaced the front. And this is for all you do-it-yourselfers out there. You want a sofa that's really good, you want an heirloom sofa, a mid-century, this is the piece for you. And also antique dealers, you want to put this in your showroom as is, and to be able to sell it. Good value here. I think you're going to like the price, so let's see what happens.